All right, again, welcome everyone hopping in. Thank you so much for coming to the weekly recap with our CEO and dev team. As we get started here, make sure you like, follow, and retweet this space. Looks like we got Will and Diz up here. How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, yep, it's kind of the middle of the day for us, but yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, wherever you are in the world,
It's my
international.
early morning. It's it's my early morning for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're just getting started here, so make sure everyone again follows and likes the page and the account here, and retweets the space as we get going here. We've got all sorts of cool things to talk about. Lots of things going on with the project. We could start either. Let's start a little bit on the what's going on as far as overall. Will talk us a little bit about some of the big stuff that's been going that we have coming up.
Mate, big stuff we have coming up. Oh, so look, we're currently, I guess we're finally finalizing things with our biggest partners, big tier one launchpads and VCs. We talk about them a lot, I guess, but that's been a long journey for us. Sometimes we first started talking to those guys maybe 3 months ago, some of those guys, but we were a different shape and appearance 3 months ago. We hadn't done as much as we've done now on the marketing and community building side of things. We were sort of building in the dark, but mostly. And so now we're at that level where we're able to engage these conversations properly. And, we've brought some incredible people on our team, still a few to announce. Still can't announce some, but enough that have sort of come to our meetings and met partners and that sort of stuff. So that's all very, very, very exciting. We are currently working on our next NFT drop, which I'm not going to really reveal anything about. But that is probably the most exciting thing we're doing right now. We've created a very, 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 very cool thing that's actually not taking us that long to build. So I can't reveal that or the people or the details of those conversations. But for me, the things that I can't mention are the most exciting. So sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Hey, listen, why don't we talk a little bit about the social switch then? We'll start there. We recently had a little bit of switch up on the Twitter socials here. Can we explain a little bit more the thought process behind that and what we're looking to do for going forward with these accounts?
Yeah, sure. So we started off as Fightcoin, 9 months ago, while we were still sort of deciding the name of the game. And we were sort of doing a bit of work back then, networking, bringing on board the Combat Sports Network in support of us, the Martial Arts Network, global federations, UFC fighters and coaches, like these sorts of guys and girls. And so Fightcoin served us very well. That was all we knew for sure we were using as a name, as a brand. So we had Fightcoin socials, Fightcoin website, and we were rounding up networks and doing social good with Fight Fund and all that sort of stuff while we did our R&D and developed the game. But obviously, as moving forward, you want the game to be the primary focus of all marketing. You want the game brand to be the forefront. Fightcoin is just a premium currency in our game. And so we have been making that shift gradually, and I think now we have completed it, I believe. All our socials, our websites, everything's lined up. We've officially, finally rebranded and migrated to the Fight Legends branding. So it's all about Fight Legends here on out.
Oh, I was muted there. Sorry about that. Well, that's awesome. We got lots of things coming up with, launch pads and a Bloody Faces revamp. Can we talk at all about those sort of things and let people know a little bit of an update there? Or maybe Disley, maybe that's a better question for you.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sorry. As in regards to our Bloody Faces website update, do we have any new news there for people that are looking to get on board?
We're about to drop our documentation. So I guess what you could call it is it's a sort of light paper kind of documentation. It kind of details more about the game in detail and the sort of the structure behind how you would play it, how players would earn from it. So it's actually really quite interesting if anyone wanted to go check that out. We're going to be dropping it this week, I believe, or if not early next week. But we're basically setting up the website to have a more cohesive across all of the platforms that we're building. So our dev is working hard at the moment to kind of get that on the ball, like on the roll. So yeah, there'll be some exciting updates very soon, and we're kind of tentatively building that. We're getting ready for our first few NFT drops.
Awesome. Well, that's very exciting. And I see that we just got Wombat up here too. How are you doing, man? Thanks for coming up and hanging out. Let's see what else. We also got we're updating and creating a fight wiki. Can we talk a little bit about that and what that's where that's going to be living?
I'm sorry, bro. I only heard we're updating A.
Oh, weird. I'm sorry. I must be breaking up. I was talking about we're doing a dev update. We have a marketplace stage is underway, and we're doing props and lighting are next. That's actually very, very exciting for Bloody Faces holders, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Bloody Faces holders are going to see the game update as they go. If that's what you're talking about.
Yep.
One sec.
Disley, maybe you can.
Yeah, I was going to say. So you mentioned the marketplace stage. So we've got a new stage underway. That's the marketplace. This is also going to be used as a backdrop to the actual marketplace where people can trade and buy all of our like NFT items.
Right.
So we've still got that currently like underway. The team will be switching across to a new exciting project that we're building that we can't really. I don't think we're ready to drop that yet. But over the next week, I think the marketplace will actually start to come into the end of its conceptual design, and then we can start sharing that around. And then hopefully we can try and get into the game as quickly as possible so our players can start playing and seeing that stage as well.
Awesome. Well, that's very exciting. And we also got combat mechanics design are being experimented on. Can you talk a little bit more about what kind of mechanics we're thinking about? We're looking at?
Yeah, I can do that. We're basically looking at simplifying the inputs of the mechanics. So a lot of competitive fighting games are very input heavy. It can be very daunting and difficult for new players to sort of get around it. Start learning the combos.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to also make it possible for the game to be played quite easily on keyboard, because we think that a lot of players who like jump into these kinds of games, they don't typically have a controller or a game stick or anything like that. So we want it, and the traditional way that it's set up, it really doesn't work on keyboard. A lot of the fighting games. So we want to prioritize making the keyboard actually a really decent experience. It won't detract from the controller experience, obviously, but it will allow those a little bit easier to pull off some of the combos. And so we're kind of playing around with the idea of having basically simplified specials that the fighters can use, and then you can kind of sequence them to make these really awesome combos, rather than trying to go with just like really heavy input in order to do just like one or two, combos. You can basically mix and match a couple of more simplified ones and make the complexity out of those.
Gotcha. Very cool. And also part of the combat mechanics are a raw sweep hit reaction that's implemented. So was there no, were you changing the current reaction, or was there none present so far?
Okay, yeah, so there was just a default sort of reaction, and what we did was we added a new sweep reaction so that it actually looks, instead of just like he's being knocked down, he's actually getting his feet kicked out from under him. Also, we've got a couple of new moves that we're playing around with, and some like actual custom reactions to those, where Ross will be like kicked like further back, slide along the floor, and if he hits the wall, it'll actually bump up against the wall. So it just kind of has that more feeling of it actually interacts with the environment.
Interesting. Nice. That's very cool. Hey, well, while we're sitting here talking, please, anyone listening, please feel free to put your hand up. We can bring you up here to ask questions from the team. So go ahead and do that if you're wondering anything about the project. Um, we also got a new character concept, a rhythm combat style being explored. Let's go into that just a little bit. What is a rhythm combat archetype in a fight game?
Okay, so like that kind of thing is normally about like what typically you'd call stance dancing.
Oh,
So from one stance you would activate an ability, and then it would put you into the next stance. That then, if you push the very same button, would do a different move. So the rhythm one is just taking that to the next level and saying that every attack has a way to, depending on when you activate the next attack in the animation, it will smooth and flow into the next attack. So it becomes like a hyper stance dancing sort of character rather than just like one or two stances. It can flip constantly between them depending on the way that you execute the attack through the animation.
awesome. That's great. And what's the coolest thing about all this is everyone's going to be able to try these as they're implemented into the game through the demo. Of course, purchasing the Bloody Faces NFT allows you access to that, the clubhouse and marketplace we've been talking about, and probably more. You never know what's going to be in there, what kind of goodies you're going to find in the clubhouse. So make sure to check out, the website, fightlegends.io, and follow and like everywhere to make sure you're staying updated as we move forward here. And then the last thing we got on the dev update, anyways, is the game server architecture has begun with the purpose of replacing the current placeholder network that we have in place, which is a little more into the weeds, but talk us through that real quickly.
Yeah, well, it's just it's sort of just taking all of the like considerations about networking and how that drastically impacts the end user performance for fighting games. So we've basically gone through, and from the very beginning, we're trying to structure the game in a way that that heavily optimizes it, so that because a lot of actual networking is actually to do with the optimization of how the game is actually drawing the frames, because basically the less latency you have in the engine itself locally on the user's machine, the more latency leeway you have through the network when it's communicating. So it's all about just making it as fast and as smooth as possible, honestly. And we're basically just implementing those things from the very, very, very beginning. And we've got some, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but we've got some advisors that will be helping out as well. They can offer us advice and help for how, how they did it, how we should do it, the things that we should look out to avoid, those kinds of things. That'll be really helpful.
So good to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining us for the update. I got a question. I know back in the 90s when Street Fighter 2 came out and that was all the rage, it really didn't take off until like the magazine thing happened, and there were actually like controls where you could learn the moves and things like that. Is that a thing that the team's interested in doing, so that actually everyone that can demo the game can know what the moves are?
Yeah, there'll be a training mode obviously in the game. We'll have a way to display the different combos and sort of a little on-screen helper to like help you realize what the next combo you could move in towards. I think I like that idea that it sort of predicts. It says, well, you just use this move, you could potentially use this one, or this one. It kind of gives you a bit of a heads up as to like what you could do. And thankfully nowadays we don't have to use magazines to get that across to people because we've got the internet.
Well, hey, I'm just showing my age, mate. But does that sort of go with the counter mechanics as well when you're building this into the game? Obviously, like one of my favorite games ever is probably Killer Instinct, and the countering mechanism in that game is basically what makes that and sets that game apart from the rest of them, apart from the stupid, insane numbers of combos that you can do. Is that like, how do you actually go about, implementing the different mechanics, and can we see that as the game's updating?
Yep, definitely. So what the point you were making about the combo, the countering, honestly, we're not 100% sure if that's going to be a main mechanic in the game yet, or whether it's just going to be more of like a unique personality of a fighter that would have the ability to counter. Because obviously you got the typical things like everyone can block, but we're not sure if we're going to have a parry or counter system just yet. But yeah, you'll definitely be able to witness the evolution of the fighters as we keep implementing them. Especially like, for example, this new update we're thinking of doing with the so basically it's a prototype for the way that the combat mechanics work. we're going to be putting that in the game, and we're going to actually have side by side, so you can jump in as a bloody face holder, and you can try and play both of them and tell us which one you like better and what you don't like about it, and then we can get that feedback from the community, and we can help. That'll help make the decisions forge the direction that we go with that character.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, in the last update, we got a throw. Ross has now got a switch throw, which Will should be very interested in, because I basically demanded that from you, Diz, because, mate, I'm terrible on the right-hand side, and that's the only way that bloke can beat me. So there is definitely updates that are happening, and especially with that switch throw, which I haven't hit yet. So I'm going to have to get Will. So while I've got Will in the room, we are running a competition this week. And I do have to talk about it, but there's a huge UFC on this week. So, Will, why don't you let everyone know what's going on this weekend and what everyone can win?
I'm honestly not all over the UFC comp, but I think if you tip all the winners, you get a whitelist spot to our IDO and possibly a bloody face NFT. I'd have to double check that, to be honest. But yeah, jump in and tip the UFC. Huge fight with Masvidal and Covington, and yeah, win yourself a spot in our IDO. Also, Wombat, you can't beat me whatever side you start on. Let's be honest here.
Well, look, you talk a very big game in public, but what you know and I know, and Sean knows, actually, the host on Fight Legends account, he knows. He's seen me absolutely destroy you. He's seen it with his own eyes. I've seen it. You've seen
on the
it.
left side.
I was away from keyboard.
On the left side and once.
I'm pretty sure I was away from keyboard for that.
Now, listen, if anyone in the spaces would like to ask a question, look, this is why we're doing this every week. We're going to bring in the CEO. We're bringing in the head of dev. So you can ask absolutely anything. You can give ideas, anything like that. Sean, you can double check, please, mate, on the actual giveaway. I think you may have pinned something. Is that right, mate?
Yeah, it's a whitelist via Telegram that you can win by being tie or get the most picks right. And it's a heck of a card, so it'll be a fun night.
Well, if we don't have any questions, let's get into it. Will, who have you got, mate? Who have you got at the top of the card?
Oh, mate. I think Covington. To be honest. What do you think?
Something happened with your mic there.
Oh, sorry?
Your mic got a little muffled there.
Oh, sorry. I think Colby beats Masvidal in this one. I think it might be, but I feel like the most likely outcome is that he kind of just smothers him, really grinds him out. And, every time Masvidal starts to find his rhythm and find his movement, I think Covington's just going to dump him and stifle him throughout the fight. Probably, but who knows? Anything could happen. But that's probably the most likely outcome for me. Oh, mate. Barboza and Mitchell. What a fight. What a fight.
That's a banger.
Barboza.
It's old school. Old school fight.
Barboza should win that, but I think he's going to hurt Bryce, and then Bryce is going to submit him. I think he's going to hurt Bryce on the way to being submitted, and everyone will be like, holy shit, yeah, Bryce. And it will just be one of those glorious moments for the kid. I just see that playing out there. Oh, man, Kevin Holland's going to win. Greg Hardy, I think he's due for a win. I think this has to be his comeback, right? Like, this has to be one that he gets and then goes back up and gets cleaned up, starched by someone else on their run. So I'll go with Greg Hardy for that one. Hardy, Holland,
so your official picks for the NFT, mate?
These are my official picks. I'm going to go, Colby, RDA, Bryce, Kevin, and Greg.
All right, there we go. What about you, Diz? You're up, mate.
Wait. You're talking about UFC fights?
Yeah.
I've got my head so deep. I've got my head so deep in the game, man. It's like
Look, it's MMA, so you can basically flip a coin, pick, and you probably get it right anyway.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure. I'll have to actually start getting on and watching the events with you guys because yeah, like I said, I'm so heavy into programming and in the game. Yeah, I've got to stick my head up every now and again and have a look at what's going around me.
Well, mate, I'm not sure if you're just saying that because the CEO is in the room, but that's a very good answer. Very, very good answer. But we will also be running some spaces and a lot more competitions and getting, the real life stars of the martial arts world actually in our community. We've already had a few spaces with Bob Sapp and Shannon Briggs and Ross Levine, and we'll continue to do that as well. So everyone, make sure if you like that sort of stuff, let us know. So yeah, Sean, what else you got, brother?
Well, that's pretty much it. Unless someone wants to come up and ask a question, we can wrap it up. Of course, you can catch these every week at this time. We're going to have the team in here to give updates, have a chat, with each other, and bring the community along on the journey.
Just while we've got some time, then, what are a few projects that you've been looking at lately, Will?
Few NFT projects.
Yeah, any sort of project in the crypto space. What have you been looking at lately?
Not a lot lately, to be honest. I have been so damn busy. I've been having like 6 to 10 meetings a day. So I haven't had a chance to really follow a lot lately, other than our partners. Like I've been checking them out a little bit because I can. It's work. Man, the one I'm most excited for, to be honest, out of all of these, is racing the other guys like Meta Guardians and Black Eye Galaxy in the Black Eye Galaxy Racer. I think that's flying under the radar a little bit. I think a racer like that could be a lot of fun. It looks sick. And branding Fight Legends into their game and then racing other founders and other team members, our team versus their teams, I think that's going to be an exciting thing to do. Also, Flower Girls, man, like that one keeps grabbing my attention. There's a lot of women-led projects in the space, and it's cool. It's great to support them, and like they sort of get promoted, right, because there's not enough women in the space. So if you're a woman building in the space, it's great that a lot of the space will give you extra support a lot of the time and help promote that fact. It's a very positive space in most areas. There's dark, nasty areas, but it's a pretty positive space. Anyway, Flower Girls came in and just blew all the others out of the water art-wise, to be honest. Like a lot of projects, women-led, man-led, fucking other-led, they look ridiculous. Like a lot of the art is crap. They have a great community, but to me, I look at the art and I'm like, that's pox. Like what you've got is a community that thinks it's great and supports you and your vibe. Good. That's awesome. But as far as art goes, it's crap. Flower Girls has incredible art. Like it's insane. And the floor it's just started rising. They've got this innovation. Like BYC did like a mutant serum, right? That's how you get your mutant ape. Flower Girls have this like pollination thing going on, and they went out to all these scientists, like pollination scientists, worked out the science of pollination and how that could fit into their 10K Flower Girl drop based on the flowers the Flower Girls have and shit. And then they have a proper smart contract based system that feeds, what is it called? I think little eggs or something. Basically, bees come and pollinate your flowers and you get drops and stuff. It's all very sciencey. It's actually more complex than I can understand, but it's amazing. So that's probably one that grabs my attention most of all.
Fantastic. Yeah, you've actually caught my attention with the Flower Girls one. I've been having a look at it. Apparently, there's a massive drop tomorrow happening, so I don't know what's going on there. But obviously, guys, we've also got our Discord channel that you can join and our Telegram channels as well. We all have different sort of updates in different places. Mainly, if you're on one of them, you'll basically get all of the updates. But it's also good to join these other ones because, well, we do have certain things that we do in Discord differently than we do to Twitter, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Discord's more personal, right? We can have conversations there more easily. You can reach out to the team more easily. Conversations are sectioned up, so you can talk about different topics. You can chill in one group and look at our sneak peeks in another group. You can make suggestions on the game. If you're a Bloody Face holder, you can jump into the Bloody Faces chat and really get involved. with the leading and the feedback of the game and start playing the game, Discord's cool. People should definitely come hang out and be a part of that.
For sure. And before we wrap up, is there anyone that wants to jump on the mic and chill? Is there a project out there that you want to let us know about? Oh, don't see any hands. All right, Sean, I'll leave it over you to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll make sure that you check the our timeline out, because like we said, every single Friday we'll be doing this with Will and with Disley. Thanks so much, boys, for coming along. Shawnee, over to you, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And you can catch us here next week and every day on Spaces. The team ones will be every week this time. And you can catch the recordings on Spaces or on Twitter, of course, and on our YouTube. So thank you, everyone, for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Mate,
guys.
thanks for hosting, guys. That was really cool.